So, if you've been on my channel for a bit, you might have seen my story time about my toxic roommate in college. But as I was recording that, I realized, wow, has my life always been this depressing? Crap. Frick. Line, please. What I meant to say is, I have a lot more college stories that are frankly hilarious. So sit down, get comfortable, and let me tell y'all a few more stories from college. But before we get into it, let's do our quick, hey, what you drawing part of the video. The art you're watching me draw in the background is actually artwork for my webcomic Outcasts. If you haven't read the webcomic yet, Outcasts follows the stories of the Myers children, 4 kids who have been in hiding for years, all because they have magical powers and their beloved ruler, Queen Vanessa, seems to want to erase all magic and all who possess it. If that sparked your interest or you want to learn more about the characters, you can come check out my webcomic Outcasts for free on Tapas and come join my Patreon for exclusive content. Links to both are in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get into the story. So, let's set the scene. It's August of the year the world decided to go insane and shut down. 2020. Yep, you heard me right. The first year of college for me was the year the virus that shall not be named decided to screw us all over. And to be completely honest, I didn't give 2 craps about moving into college during a global pandemic. But my mom, well, she was a different story. I mean, I get it, I'm the youngest kid, the baby of the family, but come on, Mom! You just moved my brother into college 2 years ago. So, after I convinced my mom that I would be fine and that I was going to college, not getting drafted, my parents and I got all my stuff moved in, unpacked, and set up. I met my 2 roommates, who were super sweet and awesome, and then the college experience began. I met a lot of people in my elementary education classes at my college, but my closest friend was a girl that I'll just call Millie. We hung out a lot. But what kind of friend would I be if I didn't share a funny story that I still laugh at to this day? So, during my freshman year, we had some classes that were in person and others that were online through our college. And some education classes were ones that several students, Millie and I included, would like to skip because of how boring they were. Now, Millie and I were hoping that this evening online class would either be cut short or canceled. And when it turned out it wasn't, well, Millie had gotten so ticked off about the situation that she, with no hesitation, decided to flick off the laptop we were using to watch the online class. Thank the good Lord the camera was off because, oh man, that would have been an interesting conversation with the professor in the next class. I think I was in my sophomore year of college when I applied and got a job at the registrar's office at my school, and luckily, I was able to accommodate it with my school schedule fairly easily. I was the transcript records clerk for the time I worked there, so this basically meant that I was in charge of accessing, typing up, printing, and mailing out students' transcripts if they wanted to, say, transfer to another college, for example. So, some context. I live in Texas, and the weather here can be kinda unpredictable. It's either super hot, raining, or in this case, frozen over, which doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does, and it's usually in January or February, which was when this story was. Now, I don't know why, but my university had this idiotic rule that the regular working staff would get the day off if the roads were iced over because of safety issues. But if you were a student worker who lived on campus like I was, well, you had to come into work. So me and several other student workers had to brave the elements and walk across campus on icy roads. I mean, sometimes you could call campus security and they would come give you a lift from the dormitory, but it wasn't all that reliable, and I usually just had to suck it up and make the trek to the office. Now, once you got in the office, it was pretty much guaranteed to be a slow day. Since barely any work orders for transcripts came in, shocking, I know! We basically just spent the whole day doing our school assignments on the computers or studying. Even though I gave it a lot of crap, working as a transcript records clerk wasn't a bad job in retrospect. Gave me a strong work ethic, and I was able to help my parents pay tuition with my salaries. Oh, and I learned not to bite it on icy roads. Now, I decided when I had to decide my degree that I was going to get a Bachelor of Arts in elementary education rather than a Bachelor of Science. My main reasoning behind this was I suck at math, and chemistry, and physics, and I still don't know how to light a Bunsen burner, and I just didn't want to handle any more science courses than I could handle. This ended up kicking me in the teeth when I realized I had to take 4 semesters of a foreign language class for my degree, which, if you don't know, is 2 years I spent of my college life waking up at 6 a.m. because I was so smart to get the 8 a.m. Spanish class. Anyways, I was in my sophomore year walking back to the dorms. So at this time I'd had 2 semesters of Spanish classes under my belt. And as I was walking and about to turn the corner to the girls' dormitory, I heard 2 guys talking. One of the guys was complaining about how he had to take a big Spanish test coming up and he still didn't understand the material. So I asked him what year he was. The guy explained he was in Spanish 1, a class I'd already taken a year prior. So, in an attempt to be kind and hopeful, I said, "Hey, I already taken that class. I can help you prepare for your test if you want." This dude looked at me with hope in his eyes, and then dropped to his knees and clasped his hands together and started to beg me to help him study for his tests. Like a puppy dog. Now, I'm shocked and embarrassed because at this point, it was dark out. And to anyone who didn't understand the situation or didn't have any context of it, it kind of looks like he was, popping the question. So, as I contemplated why guys are like this, I told him to get up and agree to tutor him. But his girlfriend would not stop texting him during our session. When I say this girl was texting him every 5 minutes, I'm not exaggerating at all. I was thinking to myself, okay, this chick just needs to get a life. Can I see your phone for a minute? Sure. Thanks. Listen, sweetie, your man's trying to get good grades, so please, stop calling him every frickin' second like you have nothing better to do. Okay, nice talk. Bye. What? And that's a wrap for this video. A special thank you to my Patreon members. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for supporting me in making my webcomic Outcasts and my artistic journey. Also, just a reminder, if you'd like to see more art like this, or you want to learn more about my webcomic Outcast, you can check it out on Tapas and come join my Patreon for exclusive content. Keep creating, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!